The information in this video is provided for informational and educational purposes only.
Welcome to Dose of DeAnn, where you'll get a little shot of what my life is like living with SMA. As you may know, August was SMA Awareness Month. At SMA News Today, we had a campaign where each day we featured someone who has a connection with SMA. Today I have a special treat. I'm joined with a guest, and we're going to talk about these articles. I'm here with Katie Napiwocki. How do you pronounce your name?
Just like that.
Okay, I never know if I get it right or not. So, and you are a columnist here with SMA News Today.
I am.
And you also had a hand in helping with the 31 Days of SMA campaign.
I did.
Do you want to tell us a little more about that and what you did? And
so very much like last year, Kevin Schaefer and I teamed up to recruit a really wonderful bunch of people to highlight throughout each day in August. We found individuals and families who are connected to the SMA community, and generally people who are just very thrilled to share their story and their perspective of some common thread of life with SMA that we can often relate to with each other. But it's always wonderful to just see the variety and diversity of people that we are able to bring on board each year for this project.
And it's really worldwide too, because a lot of the contributors have lived in other countries, and I think that's pretty cool too.
It is. We always try and do this on a global level.
Mm-hmm.
And so that offers the most vast perspective, that we can gather to just show life in different corners of the world with SMA, and shed light on different topics that we might not normally think about every day in our own bubble with SMA. So it's really interesting to always connect people and further network.
And then, of course, I'd like to talk about all of the stories, but we just don't have time for that. So I thought today maybe we could just pick out some of the recurring themes that we see, and maybe just touch on a few of the articles with those themes. What's one of the big themes you saw this year?
I think the strongest theme that I noticed recurring with our stories this year was resilience. And I think that really shined in some way in every story. Just the importance of social supports with our loved ones, and leaning into those different connections and bonds that we share with people who really help us to navigate life with SMA when we're already living in a world that really isn't built for us.
Yeah.
And so resilience to me was a cornerstone this year that we saw in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I thought so too. And overcoming obstacles, was
for sure.
Definitely a big thing. I'm amazed in the articles. A lot of the individuals have gone to college. I think our day one contributor, Shaniqua, I think it was, she went to law school.
Yes.
I mean, that's pretty amazing. So I think, and as you said, the world isn't built for someone with a disability. So there are those extra hurdles that we have to jump over, even though we can't physically jump, right?
Yes. And I think that is really what it comes down to, is a lot of people sharing their story in different ways of how, no one is going to do this for you. And so we all have to find different ways to just still be able to chase our dreams and our ambitions and our desires, and along the way just kind of hope that the rest of the world catches up with us and advocate as much as we can and share our story.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what this project really helps to do, is show even the non-disabled community what life might be like for different people with SMA, and help bring some awareness.
Mm-hmm. And then
So,
I think too, with that, we have a lot of self-doubt that we hold. And I think a lot of these stories are about overcoming that as well. Our
yeah,
self, what we think. And I think you internalized ableism, I think is what you used for a
sure.
term.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Yeah.
So yeah. Another topic that I saw throughout the articles was family, and the different family dynamics was so interesting to see. I
Mhm.
don't know, how do you mind my asking, how old are you?
I'm 36.
Okay, I'm a little bit older. I'm 43.
Yeah.
And as I was growing up, having a family didn't even cross my mind. And now I see other people who have started their own families, and I think that's really amazing.
Oh, I can absolutely share in those emotions with you, because I felt the same way. And I think that Megan DeJarnett touched on this a little bit in her story, because there was a quote from her piece that really stuck out to me about how, after hearing the statistic of maybe not being able to live beyond the age of 15 with her SMA diagnosis, she said it was very hard to dream beyond the age of 15. And that really struck me, because I remember feeling the same way. I remember kind of being in high school and just feeling this like urgency of, well, I need to live now. What will life look like for me? Is that something that I should even entertain? So it's so cool, I think, for our younger SMA community, and especially our parents, the parents of kiddos with SMA, to know that these are, not only that these feelings might be natural or will be natural for their kids to experience, but also that there's so much variability in what actually happens
Yeah.
versus what is predicted. And it's really uplifting and crucial that we share these stories and these emotions, to know that there are a lot of possibilities out there.
Yeah. I think possibilities is a good word, because yeah, you might have an idea of what you think your life will be like, but there are so many possibilities out there.
Right.
So is there any other themes that you're picking up on in the articles?
I also really loved the all the couples that we featured this year. I thought that was really wonderful, really fun to share different interabled couples, and just show how not every relationship is the same under the best of circumstances. And so even
I took notes here, and I'm horrible with names. So I'm trying to find the one that I just thought was the cutest couple. Maybe it was Logan and Aria.
yes, absolutely.
I liked in their story, when they started dating, it really opened up his eyes to that world of disability, because he had to think about, and is this place accessible?
Yeah.
And there's so much more to think about that not everybody thinks about when they have a relationship. So I thought
Yeah.
that was kind of cool.
Yeah, and just to show that it's not impossible, and that interable relationships can be incredibly healthy and fulfilling. So I think that was a really important perspective that we also shared this year.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There was one other couple too, and I'm blanking on the name, but where he really, that's what attracted him to her, is that she didn't let anything stop her. She went for what she wanted, and
Right.
that was what attracted him to her. So I thought,
Yes.
that's uh,
And today's feature too, I believe, is Tyler and Dara.
yeah, I think maybe
They live
that's,
in wheelchairs, and they have such a cool story as well. Just
and they have fun too.
they do. Yes,
So,
I know.
so one aspect that I see a lot is becoming an advocate, um, whether purposefully or whether kind of by accident. Um, when you, and either advocating for yourself or advocating for the community. I think that was a big theme this year too.
It definitely was. And I love how people really just want to see positive change for future generations with SMA and other disabilities. And it's it's really empowering, I
Yeah,
think, to see other people advocating. And it can also be really fatiguing to advocate all the time, because I think with SMA, even when we're not formally advocating, so creating a post for that specific purpose, or joining in with an organization, dedicated to giving us a voice, even if we're not doing that on purpose, we still are constantly advocating every day throughout our life for our caregiving needs, and
yep.
just basically to live.
And that
So
it can be difficult to do. I know a lot of the stories did show the struggles that they've gone through.
yes,
But it's also very rewarding in the end when you can show, that you're living your best life. So,
absolutely. Yeah, and to give others in the SMA community a point of contact for
yeah,
networking. Maybe they would read a story that would really speak to them about a particular struggle that they're currently having, and
yeah,
great to be able to give that the whole community a point of contact, so that someone might say, hey, this person can really relate to what I'm going through right now. Maybe I can reach out to them.
yeah.
Or even just that unspoken comfort of knowing that other people are going through something very similar to what you feel on a daily basis.
Well, and I know for SMA month, which was in August, I know there's a lot of mixed feelings regarding that, but I feel like these stories go a long way in just bringing awareness of SMA. And that's why I think it's important to talk about them and to continue doing this. I know SMA News Today has done it for the past at least 3 years that
Yeah,
I know of. So I'm looking forward to more stories in the upcoming years as well.
me too. Me
So,
too.
so, but I wanted to thank you for joining me. Is there anything else you want to mention before I sign off?
I don't think so, but thank you so much for inviting me.
Do you have any columns upcoming that we have to keep our eyes on?
Um, I think there's just a lot of new things going on for me, and so I'm excited to share those things with you as well.
Well, we'll look forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
So,
DeAnn.
thanks for joining me. Bye.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed our conversation as much as I did. I appreciate all the work Kevin and Katie went through to put these articles together. Are there any that really speak to you? Any themes that you want to talk about? Head on over to the forums at smanewstoday.com/forums and we can continue the conversation. But that's all I have for you today. We'll talk again soon. Bye for now.